Before studying finance, it is important to ponder over the nature of the subject. Is finance a social science? If no, why? If yes, what are the reasons? If it is a social science, what are the implications? In this short video, I discuss these questions and key takeaways to keep at the back of our mind while learning finance. I'd like you to take a minute to think about the nature of this subject, finance, which at its core deals with money. What do you think? Is finance a social science? The central reason why people don't consider finance a social science is an excessive focus on the quantitative aspects. Finance means numbers, calculations, complex spreadsheets, right? However, while theory has largely focused on the quantitative aspects, practice tells a very different story. At its core, finance deals with how people behave, think, and make decisions, largely in the context of money. Finance does involve numbers, calculations, and spreadsheets to create projections for the future. But ask finance practitioners like investors and bankers, and they will tell you how important the people aspects are. Numbers and spreadsheets are usually in the background and act as a basis to begin negotiations, but people have to agree on the different estimates and projections for deals to happen. So, if finance is a social science, why is this important to remember? What are the implications for the study of finance? First, since it is not a natural science, the different results and stylized facts are not widely generalizable. As an example, measure gravitational acceleration anywhere on Earth and it will be very close to 9.8 meter per second square. However, investor behavior would vary significantly with geography and time since it is inherently a social phenomenon. In most cases, it is also difficult to set up experiments to falsify hypotheses as can be done in physics or chemistry. Second, the social world is far more complex. It is almost impossible to create a model of investor behavior which explains investor behavior around the world at any point of time in history or future. A model which explains everything would be too complex and hence quite useless from a practical perspective. I am reminded of a story of a king who wanted to make a map of his kingdom for his personal use. He called a cartographer or a map maker and asked her to create a map of the kingdom. The map maker returned a few days later with a small map. The king looked at it and said, "Oh, this is too small, make it more detailed." The map maker came back with a larger map a few days later. The king once again said, "This is small as well, I want a much more detailed map." This kept on going till the map maker created a map which captured every small detail of the kingdom. But as you can guess, it was completely useless from a practical perspective because the map was as large as the kingdom itself. Thus, in order to simplify the complex world, we build models. Every model has certain assumptions, features of the real world which are assumed away so that the model can focus on a particular question and can be of practical use. Some assumptions are highly critical as the results of the model are sensitive to them. It is important to be aware of the underlying assumptions while learning models and to ensure that at least the critical assumptions of the model are reasonable and are not violated. This feature of models gives rise to several schools of thought depending on how you view the world and what assumptions you make. It is important to explore multiple schools of thought while learning finance, as a one-size-fits-all approach is usually not effective in the real world. Finally, the end user is responsible for looking at the collection of different models available and selecting a model which is most relevant from the point of view of application. If you are looking to explain the behavior of unsavvy retail investors who invest on the basis of hunches and biases, you would need to look at models from behavioral finance rather than use a neoclassical model which assumes that investors are rational. I'd like to end with a favorite quote of mine from John Maynard Keynes. Economics is a science of thinking in terms of models, joined to the art of choosing models which are relevant. Similarly, finance is a craft, a combination of science and art. The science is in building models, the art is in fine-tuning and selecting the appropriate model for a particular situation.